Nintendo Switch Review. Design. The Switch itself is a slightly junky tablet, with thick bezels and a 6.2-inch capacitive touchscreen sporting a 1280 by 720 resolution. It's more akin to a low-cost phablet rather than a cutting-edge gaming device, yet the construction feels rock solid and the metal finish very classy. The Switch might be the slimmest, slickest and least obtrusive console ever made. Only two things really stand out: a hefty vent at the top for cooling purposes, and the kickstand at the rear that enables you to prop up the console for tabletop gaming sessions when you're out and about. Or, more commonly in my household, vanished to the kitchen while someone else is watching TV. Battery testing. Nintendo claims a battery life of 3 to 6 hours depending on the game, the brightness level and whether Wi-Fi is turned on or turned off. Brett tested this for his review last year and found that an hour of play would drain 36% of the battery, while an hour of charging would recharge it by 47%, with brightness set to 100% and Wi-Fi enabled. My results this year playing Super Mario Odyssey aren't much different, with any variation down to the change of game and the fact that my battery has been getting hammered for a year longer. Realistically and based on a year's experience, you're looking at a little under 3 hours of battery life for more demanding games and 20 minutes more with the brightness set to a comfortable 70%. That said, I've found that some less graphically intensive indie games will give you another half hour or so a lot depends on what you're replaying. If you're going on a flight, a day trip or a long-distance train journey, then that 3-hour battery life won't be enough. Your best bet here is a USB-C battery pack with a high capacity and fast charging capabilities, such as the Anker Power Core Plus 20100, the smaller Power Core 10000 or RAV Power 26800. Do yourself a favor and sling one in your bag before you go. Joy-Con. Underestimate those Joy-Cons at your peril. Each packs in a lot of tech, with not just an analog stick, 4 face buttons and a trigger and bumper per controller, but an accelerometer and a gyroscope, Nintendo's HD Rumble haptic feedback engine, and with the right Joy-Con an NFC reader for Amiibo and an infrared depth tracking sensor. At launch, this all seemed like overkill. Sure, the Joy-Cons made good motion controllers in 1-2 switch or snipper clips, and motion control was good for aiming in Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, but how many gimmicks did one console need? If you want a more conventional controller, then you can always slot them into the bundled Joy-Con grip. This might still be a little too small for some hands. Personally, I find that the right stick and the triggers, bumpers feel ever so slightly crammed in, but it's something I've become used to over the past 12 months. While the Switch Pro controller is a stronger alternative, it's an option rather than a must-have. The other great advantage of the Joy-Con controllers is that you have 2 controllers at your disposal when playing multiplayer games. Slide them out of the Switch, attach the wrist strap modules, and you're ready for multiplayer Puyo Puyo Tetris or Mario Kart anywhere, anytime. Pro Controller. If you want a more conventional controller for your Switch, the Pro Controller is really the only game in town. Luckily, it's Nintendo's best controller since the GameCube's, with nice, large analog sticks, rubberized handles and less plasticky triggers and bumpers than the Wii U equivalent. Unlike third-party controllers we've seen so far, the Pro Controller also packs in all the tech from the Joy-Cons, including the gyroscopes and accelerometers and the HD Rumble, although since it doesn't split in half, it is still inferior for playing ARMS.